Hello and welcome to today's episode of Piano TV. So every year around this time, like the beginning of September, I always get really focused on goals and goal setting and planning. And I think that's partly just being a teacher, and September kind of feels like a fresh start, like a new year. So I always like to do a video around this time related to goals. So that's what we're gonna do today. It's just a little bit different. It's gonna be a listening goal and you can play along if you want. So let's get started. Last year we did a really in-depth look at goals. We did 2 goal videos on like planning and setting goals. And then there was also a video we did on why even bother setting goals at all. So if that's something that's up your alley, definitely go check those ones out because this one's going to be a little bit different. So my own personal goals are a little bit different this year. So one thing that I did a couple years ago is I did 8 exams in 2 years, which was really intense. And I kind of hit a point after that where I was just done with testing and I just wanted a break. And it's been over a year since then, and I'm starting to get the urge to get back on the testing bandwagon. So when I was thinking about what kind of goals I want to set this year, one of the goals for me is to do my intermediate pedagogy certificate exam. But there's also another much simpler, much more straightforward goal that you can kind of do alongside me if you want, and that is the goal of listening to 30 new pieces of classical music in the month of September. So let me know if you have any interest in me doing a video related to my intermediate pedagogy exam prep. I haven't 100% decided that's what I want to do. It is a pretty intense exam. There's actually two exams in the process and it'll take me about a year, but I can always do a video of that in the future. But yeah, let's stick to the simpler goal of, well, it's not necessarily a simpler goal, but it definitely sounds more fun to me right now, the listening goal. So my knowledge of classical music is actually pretty lopsided. Like, I have a better understanding of Chopin's music or Liszt's music than, say, Mozart. Like, I know Beethoven sonatas better than Mozart sonatas, and I've always just kind of had like a few composers that I know pretty well, and then a lot of composers that I'm not very familiar with at all. So I kind of wanted to remedy that a little bit with this challenge and expose myself to music that I don't ordinarily listen to. So this involves actually listening. So what I'm talking about with this challenge is I'm going to be listening to 1 work a day, and I'll show you everything that I've decided what I'm going to be listening to. I even made a playlist on Spotify. But aside from listening to 1 work a day, it's not like I'm just going to be, you know, putting on a piece of music in the background. I mean, I'm going to like actually listen to it. And what I mean by that is this. Not listening to said composition while driving, cleaning, or doing any other activity where I'm dividing my attention. So basically just sitting and listening to the said composition while doing nothing else. So just me and the music. Some of my fondest music listening memories are basically just like me sitting all alone by myself listening to music, whether I'm, you know, like on the couch with headphones and just like getting really absorbed in it, or if I'm just kind of aimlessly driving and cranking it on the stereo listening to it for the first time. And I want to be able to recreate those really profound listening experiences with this 30-day challenge. So that's why I don't want to listen to music while I'm like distracted doing other things. Like, I want to get that full absorption. So then the next question is, what pieces should I be listening to? And again, this is just my entire personal decision, but to me, it made the most sense to take a broad approach for this 30 days. So instead of listening to like just romantic music for 30 days or just Chopin music for 30 days or something like that, I decided to divide it pretty evenly between basically music written between the years 1600 and like the mid-1900s. I also want to stay away from pieces that I know really well, because then it's kind of like, what's the point? So like, I'm not going to be listening to Liebestrom No. 3 or Moonlight Sonata or anything like that. But that being said, I also don't want to get really obscure. So I don't want to listen to like some random composer that no one's ever heard of. I want to expose myself to music that maybe I should know a little bit better, like maybe some like an interesting Beethoven sonata or something like that. So I'm gonna share my final 30-day list with you here. I'll show it on the screen in just a second, but I'll have it linked over on the blog too if you want to check it out. I made a Spotify playlist for this as well. So if you want to participate and play along, which I highly encourage because it'll be more fun that way, then you can either use my Spotify playlist or just general playlist as a launching point. You could listen to, like, do whatever you want. You can listen to 30 days of completely different music from me. But what I'm planning on doing is posting my listening experiences to social media. So I plan on posting to Facebook, to Twitter. I might do Instagram. I haven't decided yet, maybe like a couple times. And yeah, so if you want to follow me on those mediums, then please do so, and then we can play along. Maybe we'll make like a 30 days of music hashtag. Actually, sometime last year, we did a sort of similar challenge. We did 30 days of piano practice. And there were a few of us who were posting every day. We'd like share a little snippet of our practice and do like a hashtag 30 days of practice or something like that. And it was really, really fun. It was another way for us to interact. And I think we can do the same thing with listening to music. So let's light up the internet with good music for the month of September. Anyway, without further ado, here is my list. So I divided all 30 of my choices into the 4 main eras, and the number here is just how many compositions from those eras that I chose. So I chose 7 Baroque, 7 Classical, 8 Romantic, and 8 Modern, just because personally I find I just enjoy those eras quite a bit, and there's lots of different things to listen to. So one thing I tried to do is diversify the composers. So instead of picking 7 Bach pieces, I wanted to pick like a full blend of all the different Baroque composers. So you got Handel, Scarlatti, Telemann, etc. One thing I did do is I picked a lot of concertos, symphonies, big works like that that are longer, that are 20 to 40 minutes long. And that's kind of like listening to a music album. So those are going to be like the bigger days. But I did try to balance that with some shorter pieces as well. I also haven't decided if I'm going to be listening to these pieces in order, from like Baroque to Classical to Romantic to Modern, or if I'm just going to mix it up based on whatever mood I'm in. So we'll see where that goes on social. A final thing that I tend to do with any piece that I listen to is I don't just listen to it. I like to get a context for the piece too. So with these pieces, I'll probably be doing a little bit of research. Like I'll learn when it was written, why it was written, maybe just some random details that'll help me appreciate it a little bit better. And that's something I encourage you to do too. I think it just deepens the learning experience. So that is it for today's video. I really hope you participate in the challenge, and all of my social media accounts and stuff will be linked to on the screen and in the description if you want to play along, which I really encourage you to do. It's always much more fun when it's not just, you know, me doing a thing by myself. Thank you so much for watching this video. Give it a like if you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you next time. I just want to apologize if some of this video is out of focus. I just kind of realized that I have a new camera and I'm still playing around with the settings and figuring it out. It's kind of like it has a life of its own. So hopefully that'll be better with the next video.